Hey, so this is going to be an intro video for new players. It will be focused on human character using melee. So I'll create a brand new character and we'll run a few dungeons, your beginner, normal, and Ravi normal. Very early stages of the game. It's a couple of hours of gameplay condensed into this video, with some basic combat tips and other tidbits of info that will hopefully make your start easier. So let's get on with it. So to start, I recommend ULED personally. The beginner quests are a bit easier, but you can go Iria too if you prefer to explore there. So you should get started with some of the beginner quests here. You'll talk to Duncan, talk to Trefor, kill some foxes. While you're on the way to Trefor, go into the healer's house, talk to Dillis about skills. We'll use this to learn counterattack from Trefor. So talk to Trefor about counterattack, you'll get the skill. He also gave us Smash as part of the quest. It's just novice rank now, and you'll get the F rank when you finish the quest. We actually want to rank Smash to rank C to unlock another skill, but we can do that until we finish the quest. So the initial skill priority, you're gonna want to rank Sword Mastery to get a good bump on damage easily. We're gonna put some points into Combat Mastery as well, not too many, because we don't want our combat power to get too high. That's going to be important because we're gonna want to rank Windmill soon, a skill we're going to learn very soon. I'll explain combat power and Windmill a little bit more later. Alright, so the first beginner dungeon is just a few spiders. We don't have too many skills, so we don't have too many options. So we're just gonna attack, and our only defensive option is counterattack. That's why we made sure to learn it. So after you knock back a spider with 3 hits, use counterattack immediately. Now this spider is being stubborn and doesn't want to attack me. I see that it's activating a skill by the flash it does, so I just activate Smash immediately and go for it, because spiders, these spiders only use defense, so we can just use Smash to beat that. Keep ranking Sword Mastery as soon as possible. A good tactic to know early on is what's called N+1. So you can essentially add 1 hit to your normal attack combo. So our normal combo with this weapon is a 3-hit combo. But now here, I wait after my first attack, and I wait again after my second attack, and you can see that now my combo is 4 hits. Now the boss is not a problem. We're gonna get hit because we only have counterattack, and there's not much we can do after a counterattack yet. That's the defense skill, which we're going to learn later, which is something you can use after a counterattack. Otherwise, you're pretty much defenseless after a counterattack with what you have available. I recommend you take the gold here. We're gonna buy some better swords soon. Finish the quest with Trefor, learn Smash. We're gonna train it up a bit and head to the school to learn Windmill. Also, we haven't created the free pet that we get yet, so let's do that right now. It's a horse, and it's very useful, very good, not just for mobility, but for combat, especially at the beginning, as you'll soon see. So talk to Ronald here for the quest that will give you defense, but also talk to him about skills, so we can learn Windmill. We'll head to Fergus to get Windmill, but we'll also buy another short sword from him, so we are dual wielding, which is going to add a bit of damage to our combos. So we got Windmill. This is a very good skill, especially for melee. It's good AoE, very quick load, and also works defensively. We'll try to prioritize this as much as we can to rank it up. At rank 9, it's going to start loading faster. At rank 5, the range is going to increase, and at rank 1, the range is going to increase further. And of course, the damage increase is also considerable. It's a very important skill to rank up. Alright, so we'll do this quest now, and you'll see how useful the pet is. I set the guidelines to command only. I prefer to command my pet manually. What you want to do is hold Ctrl and Shift to send the pet to attack, and this will allow you to control your pet seamlessly while you're doing other stuff. I also set my hotkeys for summoning pets, desummoning, for making them come to me, and to make them sit, which will make them stop. You also see by dual wielding we're making quite a bit more damage, and the wolves die really easily. Alright, done with the quest. Another skill we want to learn as soon as possible, which is now, is critical hit. We'll just get into rank F for now. That's going to allow us to perform critical hits. There are two ways to learn critical hit. You can use counterattack, and counterattack can critical hit even if you do not have the skill at F. Or another way is to get hit and receive a critical hit, which is what we're going to do now. I go to these walls. It's usually pretty easy to get critical hit by these guys. So that's what I'm gonna do. Critical hit is a very, very good skill that also should be ranked to 1 very soon, but Windmill and some other stuff are gonna be first. We're gonna do Malcolm's Ring quest now. We'll find mimics here, which you can open up using Windmill, a newfound skill. With Windmill, one thing you can do is, after a knockback, run away from your target into another back area and load that Windmill again. So for example here, the mimic that Alcatraz wasn't doing anything dangerous, just using defense, so I get ahead and Windmill again with the other pack. Windmill doesn't aggro more than one enemy, so we can do this. You can also safely load defense during Windmill animation, so that's a good way to follow up at this point. Windmill has this training requirement that it says counterattack with Windmill. What you need to do is use Windmill after you've been knocked back. Windmill is a skill that can get somewhat hard to rank up at the higher ranks, especially because it requires you to kill enemies at a different power level difference from you. So for example, it will say a powerful enemy, a very powerful enemy, a boss level enemy. So if you rank up too many other skills before ranking up Windmill, it will get harder as well. Now, there's not too much to worry. In Aronogi, we have options to lower our combat power with some enchantments. We can also, with Bond, lower some other skill levels if we need to further lower combat power temporarily. But Windmill is definitely a skill that's going to make your melee much more powerful. So you do want to rank it up, so try to prioritize it, spend some time doing some focus training on it too. Also in dungeons, you also find plenty of passive training since it's a very good skill to use. Now we're heading to Dumbarton here for a new pair of swords that's going to increase our damage quite significantly. But in the meantime here, while I'm on the way, I'm gonna get my Smash rank to C so we can learn a new skill that's also going to be very important. So finally in Dumbarton we're gonna talk to Neris, and what we're gonna do is buy a pair of broadswords which are going to increase our damage quite significantly. I'm also going to buy a longbow, which could prove useful if I need to pull enemies from a distance. We can talk to Telephant here at the square to get back to Tir Hornell, and you can also now talk to him to get back to Dumbarton, so Telephone is a good way to go around cities you've already been to. Just finishing up some other beginner quests. Definitely do this one that teaches you production mastery. It's a very easy and good way to increase your stamina at this point. Gives you 10 points of stamina per rank, so it's really good to get a few ranks in. Also, I was forgetting, we got Smashed rank C to unlock a new skill here. You can talk to Trevor about skills to get Assault Slash. This is a skill that's very good to follow up after you knock down an enemy for positioning, and some combos we'll see in a bit. We're gonna do a quick CR beginner dungeon here to show you a few things. So Assault Slash you can use after an enemy is knocked down, like here, after a windmill I can Assault Slash this Mimic, so it's a good follow up to windmill as well. All rooms like this one can be a very nice place to train windmill, at least if you manage to hit at least 2 or 3 of the spawning orbs. Quick thing to know, when dual wielding, try to avoid hitting the orbs, switch to an alternate weapon set, because it takes twice as long to hit props while you're dual wielding. Here's the CR beginner boss. It's a fairly weak golem. We're gonna start with a couple of attacks into a windmill and then Assault Slash. After Assault Slash we're going to use windmill, which is just out of range. As you increase your windmill range through ranks, you're going to be able to windmill after Assault Slash always. Now I'm going to load Smash and set my bet to attack the golem immediately. The bet is going to intercept whatever the golem is about to do. Even if the bet gets hits, that's fine, I can still smash the golem. On your first golem kill, you're gonna get the Golem Slayer title, which you should equip unless you already got him something better, but this gives you 10 strength, which is some extra damage. I completely forget to equip it right now, but you'll see me equipping it later. I went back to T. Hornell School to buy Ice Bolt. It's a useful skill for melee, and we'll see why in a few minutes. Instead of buying the spellbook, you can also take the classes here, which is going to teach you the spell at a cheaper rate. We're gonna go into CR Normal now. It's a bit harder than CR Beginner, and the boss is quite a bit harder, it's quite tougher. But with Windmill and Smash, I think we should be fairly safe. It might be a bit dangerous, but we'll see. Again, trying to use Windmill in the most bugged scenarios, also using it in Nord rooms to get some training in. Try to also make use of N plus Windmill, so that's when you hit the enemy and Windmill after. And again, you can use Windmill after Windmill. So Windmill, walk away from the aggroed enemy into another pack, Windmill, and maybe wait if that enemy comes close to me, and then Windmill again. A thing to note here is that you can have simultaneous aggro in CR Normal. A normal goblin and a goblin archer can aggro on you at the same time, or like here, a poison goblin and a goblin archer can aggro at the same time. Now, Windmill is fairly strong already, so I'm not having too much issues, but Also, remember to use your pet. You can send your pet against the archer to keep you safe. Mimic pits like here are also a great place to train windmill, and you can also get mimic Fomor scrolls, which are a great source of money. Be sure to pick up all of your Fomor scrolls. Alright, so we're at the boss here. We're first gonna take care of the skeletons. We're gonna lure them close to us either with Ice Bolt or with our bow, depending on how far they are. We can use counter attack after an Ice Bolt. And we can also just attack normally with our swords after an Ice Bolt, assuming the enemy is close enough, by using the stun from the Ice Bolt to allow you to attack safely. Now, a note on Assault Slash: you can use Ice Bolt right after Assault Slash, but you should also watch out your timing of Assault Slash when you do it right after a windmill. Like over here, it was timed poorly, so the enemy bounces instead of being knocked down again. So you could be in trouble if that happens. You need to wait a bit after windmill before doing your Assault Slash, and we'll go through that in a second. The skeletons here have a bow, so if you let them linger for a bit while aggro, they might pull it on you and try to shoot you. So over here I just have that Ice Bolt ready and shooting him as soon as he pulls his bow. Followed by another Ice Bolt, just waiting to see what he does, if he switches to the sword again or still with the bow. Also, depending on where he moves, it might be beneficial for me if he moves away from the golem. Pulling more skeletons from range with the bow and switching to sword and casting Ice Bolt again. So when the skeleton comes close to me, I can stun him with the Ice Bolt and follow up with a sword attack. Now here's the proper timing for Windmill Assault Slash combo. As soon as your character almost finishes stunning out from the windmill, then do the Assault Slash and you can see the skeleton now gets knocked back. I do mess up with Assault Slash here because the cooldown hasn't elapsed yet, but I just walk back, get my pet to help me, and we're good. My internet died out for a bit, so you are gonna see a cut here into a different boss room because I had to rerun the dungeon. So I'm back to the CR normal boss room here. One thing you want to do with your pet as you're fighting the skeletons is send it to the golem, make it attack its 3 attack combo. As soon as it finishes the combo, unsummon it so the pet doesn't get in any more danger, but the golem gets pushed back. We want the golem as close to the wall as possible for our next step on fighting it. Alright, it's time for the golem. Make sure to top up your stamina because we're gonna be using a bit, and I actually barely have enough here, as you'll soon see. So if you get a couple more ranks in Production Mastery, you will have an easier time here. What I'm gonna do is send my pet to push the golem further towards the wall, and then summon the pet as soon as it finishes the combo. So the aggro drops, I wait just a bit for the golem stability to recover a bit, and then I start with smash, follow up with windmill, and then smash, windmill, smash, windmill. This is smash mill usually called. What you want to be careful here is to not smash as soon as you can. You need to wait just a little bit for the stability to recover, like you see here, and then smash. Windmill as soon as possible, that is a very tight window. Alright, I'm gonna do one last dungeon for the video, and that's Ravi normal, so I'm gonna head to Dumbarton and then into Ravi. This dungeon's pretty nice for some gold, some experience at this early stage. You're gonna find a bunch of skeletons, and they're a bit tougher than the usual goblin that we've been fighting so far, but it shouldn't be much of a trouble. The main difference is we're not going to be using our bed as much, because the damage of our bed is starting to fall down here, so if the bed doesn't kill something in one combo or two, then it's gonna get hit and it could get healed, and I don't have any feathers right now, so I'm just gonna try not to get the bed killed. Again, after I windmill, I run away from the target, go into another pack behind me and try to windmill the pack along with the aggroed enemy as it gets close to me. I still use my bed to kill off things that I left with low HP after a couple of windmills, so to speed things up a bit. So I'm just speeding up here, but you should try killing when the art rooms get full like this. Very good for your experience and your windmill. So the red skeletons here are a bit tougher than the first floor, but not by much. They do have a bow like we've seen on the CR normal boss, so if you let them linger for a bit, they might pull the bow and try to range you. And on the final floor, we encounter our metal skeleton friends. They're pretty much the same as we've seen on the boss room of CR normal. They're a bit tougher than the previous skeletons on the previous floors, of course, but our tactic here is pretty much the same as what we've been doing. Just windmill, assault slash. If you get the enemy close to a wall, then smash quickly after your windmill. I do use Ice Bolt when killing one skeleton, or try to, so I feel safer doing a normal attack on the enemy instead of it possibly aggroing on me quickly and attacking me before I can actually attack it. You can also use Ice Ball to try to lure the enemy into another pack where you can windmill and attack multiple enemies. So yeah, another emphasis on the usefulness of Ice Bolt for melee. You can just safely stun an enemy from the distance so you can follow up an attack or defend yourself essentially against an incoming attack that you've seen there. Now in the boss room where you're soloing Ravi Normal, you find a Succubus, and the Succubus has heavy standards, so we are not going to be able to safely attack it with our normal attacks. If I send my pet there, you can see that it can ping, and the stun from your attack is nullified, so you're in very much danger. Now my pet is getting very lucky, so it's not making a perfect example of what I'm saying, but there we go, it got hit. Now the tactic I'm going to be showing you is just Ice Bolt counter, so what we're going to do is Ice Bolt counter and then Ice Bolt. You could technically do the same tactic we did for the Golem, Smash Mill, it should work just fine, but just to show you something different, this one is very safe, very safe. The only danger here against the Succubus is that while you're waiting for that counter, the Succubus might try to cast Lightning Bolt on you, so you need to be very reactive to that and cast Ice Bolt immediately, as you see her casting, so you can do that before she attacks you. Alright, and there we go. We get a bracelet here with just 1 point of maximum damage, but another point for Ravi Normal here is you can find a few enchanted items that can have increased maximum damage, so it's a good tension for that too. They're very basic damage enchants, but they're still fairly good for beginner level. As a quick recap, get your damage up with some Storm Mastery, focus on Windmill as much as you can, it's a very good skill. Practice your positioning with Windmill, practice your timing to Assault Slash after a Windmill, get comfortable using some Ice Bolts for setting up attacks and follow-up attacks. This was only a couple of hours condensed into this video, so I mean, you have a few skills, there is so much more to learn, so much more to explore, a bunch of dungeons. So I hope you have fun with the game, I hope you learned something here and it was helpful. Feel free to ask any questions, and thank you for watching.